Got it.
Welcome, LA Progressive Friends, family, readers, viewers. This is Sharon Kyle joining you with Wade Kyle. Hey,
Good
Wade.
evening, everyone. Good evening. How's it going? Happy raining Wednesday.
Yeah. So we're right in the middle of the primary season
Mhm.
here in Southern California. And Wade, why don't you introduce yourself? Tell the LA Progressive community who you are, some of the things that you do, and why you are joining us today.
Well, my name is Wade Kyle. I come from the Kyle family, lucky enough. And what do I do? I'm a special education teacher. I've taught for over 20 years within LAUSD. I've taught general ed for over 10 years. I'm now teaching special ed, which I've taken a liking to. And I'm also a very active union member, and I've been an active union member for over 10 years now. And I love the union work. I love UTLA because UTLA is the United Teachers Los Angeles. Because unlike any other work I've ever done, UTLA really grounds itself. United Teachers Los Angeles, they really ground themselves in working with the community, working with the people, which as a teacher, I love it. That's why we go to work. That's why we do what we do. We go in there, we try to service the moms, the dads, the brothers, sisters, grandmas, kids, to kind of give them the best education opportunity to get a step forward, in this kind of dog eat dog world. And
Yeah,
so
I know. I wish that there are some things. So actually, I think that one of the things that you do, certainly one of the things that I do, and by the way, we haven't mentioned this yet, but you're my son. Um, so one of the things I do is try to contribute to changing this idea of this country being dog eat dog, educating people about how to vote, educating people about some of the problems that we're having in the United States and possibly some of the remedies for those problems. And one thing we're going to be talking about today is the primary season and an election that a lot of people are seeing in the election. Everybody's hearing Dick sneeze. It's cold and it's rainy. So one of the positions that we're going to be voting for is called the ADAM. What is that?
so your ADEMs are your assembly district elections, and they come up pretty much every cycle, about every 4 years, and you have an opportunity to represent your area. So, for example, if you take an image of California, the state of California, and you cut it up into 80 pieces, you have 80 sections of communities that need representation within the Democratic Party. And so each section has its elected group of people to represent their views and values as a whole in the Democratic Party. So I live in 8066. It's just a number. Everybody has a number 1 through 80. And 8066 is about Gardena, Torrance, Hermosa Beach, Redondo Beach, Palos Verdes side. Now it encompasses San Pedro and Harbor Gateway. And so it's just a section of LA where we get to elect 7 people into our Democratic County Central Committee, where we get an opportunity to work on this different committees, and we work on budgets, endorsements, initiatives, and we bring those to the Democratic Party and say the people of this community think this is really important.
So you bring this to the Democratic Party at the convention?
We represent the Democratic Party at the convention. Yes, we do. Yeah.
Okay. So if someone was to open up their ballots, it would say member, County Central Committee, and then it would give the number of the assembly district. So just like you've just said that you live in the 66th, I live in the 57th Assembly District, which is Mount Washington, um, Eagle Rock, Echo Park, I think. I'm not reading off of any script, so I'm just kind of going by memory. But it's Northeast Los Angeles where I live, and Wade lives down in the South Bay. Now, we have a writer who has graciously contributed to the LA Progressive for many years. Her name is Jasmine Canick, and she wrote an article on her blog. And her blog is, well, it's on Medium, on medium.com, Her name is spelled Jasmyne, Panic, Cannick. I encourage you to go to Jasmine Panicks. That's at JCANNICK on Medium to read this piece that she wrote, which is called Black Votes, Black Voices, the Democratic Party. And she talks about running for the County Central Committee as a member of your particular assembly district. When you open up the ballot, you're going to be asked to vote for no more than 7 people. And she says that the County Central Committee member is an intentionally confusing way to say the LA County Democratic Party delegate. What's a delegate to the convention? It's what it should really say on your ballots, but it doesn't. And so many people oftentimes just skip over that section of their ballot, unaware of the importance of this position. So, Wade, you've been are you an incumbent?
Yeah, so currently I'm the incumbent for my seat. My term is coming to an end this March, so I'm rerunning for another 4-year term, and I have to be elected by the people within my assembly district. So you cannot vote for me. You can only vote for me. A person can only vote for me if they live within the surrounding cities of where I live, and you can vote for up to 7 people. If you vote for 8, they invalidate your card.
Oh,
So
really?
it's not even like you have to know the rules. It's so tricky. Like you're saying, the writer said this is tricky, and it is very tricky. You got to really read and really focus on the rules because it seems like you could vote for anybody. And there's, I think there's over 14 people on the list. So you can almost vote for anyone if you want, but you're only allowed to pick up to 7.
Up to
8,
seven.
it's an automatic disqualifier.
And automatically invalidates
And now
your
I'm
ballot
not sure
just for
about
that particular part. So
right.
also just so happens you'd also be voting for the president of the United States in
You
that
are
same
also.
ballot. So that won't be invalidated.
That's a very good point. I didn't think about that. But right. And you
Okay.
really have to be up to date with the people's names. I mean, even Joe Biden's name on the ballot. I think he's under his name is Joseph Biden Jr. And so if you're not aware of his full name, you may not know who to vote for.
Well, I sure hope that our readers of the LA Progressive are educated enough that they'll know when they see Joseph or Biden Jr., they know that that's Joe Biden, and then they don't vote for him. I'm
But
not
like
just
the
joking.
18-year-old may not know that. Someone who's
I know.
brand new,
That's why,
ready to get out there
and
and vote. Right.
that's why people who are listening to us should share widely, share on social media. Okay, so you vote for the top 7, your preferred 7. Now, what I hate to say top, and the reason I hate to say that is because they supposedly the names are placed randomly on the ballot. And where are you? What number are you on the 66 AD?
I don't know my exact number. Technically, I should
Told you to
know.
be prepared for this.
I am prepared, but I sealed my ballot already.
You've
Because
already
I got my mail-in ballot. I picked my 7 people. I licked it, sealed it, mailed it, and I didn't think to count what number I am. And it is tricky. The ballot is 4 pages. 8066 starts on page number 2, but continues on page number 3.
I know, and you're on page number 3. I know that because you
Page
sent me
number
a
3.
screenshot.
Yes,
I can't see it on my ballot because you and I live in 2 different assembly districts.
that is correct. And so you may pick the first 7 and then get to the next page and realize, oh wait, I want someone else who's on page
Yeah,
number 3.
that's
And
really a mess.
that becomes a little bit of a confusing mess. And
Yeah,
it gets to be really tricky in terms of making sure that you don't pick too many and making sure that you don't invalidate your ballot. So
yeah,
you have to really get in there and preview it before you mark it up in pen because they're not going to allow too many edits. You really want to
yeah.
preview it and know what you're doing.
So Jasmine says that some of the confusion, which she thinks is intentional. She says, I believe that this is one of the reasons, this confusion is one of the reasons why there are very few Black people elected to the county central committees, and even fewer of us are under 50. And it just so happens that you belong to both of those categories. You're under 50 and you're Black. And your name shows up on the second page.
Right.
She goes on to say this seemingly intentional neglect by the Democratic Party in educating voters about the importance of county central committee member elections hinders the party's commitment to true grassroots democracy. Again, these are Jasmine Canick's words, but I think it's a really important, she makes some very important points, and hopefully the Democratic Party will take them into consideration. I know that for my particular AD, which is AD 52, I actually don't know any of the people who are running, which is unusual. I used to belong to the Democratic Club, Northeast Democratic Club, and Dick and I were actually the communications leads. But it's been a long time now. Basically, all we do is LA Progressive. We're not going to a Democratic Party Central Committee. We're not going to Democratic clubs. And so now there's a whole new batch of people whose names I don't know, and I really don't know who to vote for.
And it becomes tricky. And so again, it's every 4 years that it pops up. There's a new batch of people that really get active and they want to run. There are people that want to run but don't know the rules. And so you have to get 20 people who live in your district to sign your petition to run. And if the trickiest part of it is, since we've gone through redistricting, you may think you live in one district, but actually live in another district. So when you're gathering your signatures, the people have to live in your district, which means they have to know if they've been redistricted or not. And you may get 21 signatures, but if you have two people who were mistaken, your petition to get on the ballot is then invalidated. And so there are people that wanted to run who were not able to run. There are people who were able to follow the rules to the T and got in. There was a deadline. Some people didn't meet the deadline. I compare it to the Patriots of the NFL. Everyone accuses the Patriots of cheating. But if you know the rules and you follow the rules and you really get in there with the fine tooth and really go through those rules, you usually win. You usually get in. So it's like the Patriots. They know the rules. And their coach really gets in with that real fine tooth and really reads every detail and every line and gets in. Or you get really lucky and you pay someone who can do it for you because you're allowed to have representatives gather your signatures. So this is not grassroots democracy. This is
Yeah.
not just Joe Blow getting in there. We want it to be, but the way the system's set up, it really is not.
So Jasmine goes on to say that it really matters who is elected to be on the county central committee. And she likens this committee to being the board of directors for the Los Angeles County Democratic Party. She tells people to not skip, and I agree, you should not skip over electing someone as a candidate for the county central committee. Research them, reach out to them, which is what I'm going to do. I'm going to see if I can find out who these people are. I'm going to reach out to them and find out what their values are. Ask them why they don't have a campaign website in 2024. We should. The Democratic Central Committee should have a campaign website. It's been a long time. But so tell the people your values. So we know that you're a teacher. We know that a teacher with the Los Angeles Unified School District, that's LAUSD. Your husband, is that right?
I am a husband, and you've got a very wonderful daughter-in-law, my wife, Yoko Miyagawa Kyle.
Yes,
Been
yes.
married for 15 years, which has been, the best 15 years of my life. And
Wow, is it 15 years already?
15 years, unbelievable. Time flies. What can you say? And my values, coming through education, when I came out of college, so I'll tell the world my secret. When I came out of LMU, I just wanted to go to business school and make
What's
money.
LMU?
When I went to Loyola Marymount University and for my undergrad, and when I came out of Loyola, I wanted to go to business school and make money. But my mom would tell me, "Well, why don't you just pause and try teaching for a little bit, just so you can get your feet wet in the working world." Well, 20, let's see, that was the year 2000. So 24 years later, I never stopped teaching. Just one of those things. You knew me better than I knew me, and I really did appreciate, the love you get from the community. Being a black male teaching in a black community is unique, and so the families would come and ask me to come back next year. The kids would come and ask me to come back next year. I would have weird stories where one year, when I ran for ADEMS, I was on the ballot, and one of my Latino families came up and said, "I saw you on the ballot. I voted for you." I said, "Great." And they're like, "Well, when can I sign up?" So they decided to run in
Oh,
their area.
wonderful.
Yeah, it's amazing. It just blows your mind. Like, you never know who you're going to encourage to run, which goes back to a statement that you had read. You said, you should not skip over your LACDP, your Los Angeles County Central Committee Party candidates. We're on the back end of the ballot, but the reason why you don't skip it over is because that's where Joe Blow gets an opportunity to get on the ballot and encourage Jane Doe and John Doe, anyone to run. And your average person shouldn't skip it because that's the average person's chance to get an average person onto the ballot and the average person views into the Democratic Party. There are other people who are going to vote and they're not going to skip it. Those people who have a vested interest in their views getting into the Democratic Party, those people with the deep pockets, they know who their deep pocket people are, and they are on the ballot, and they're going to vote, and they're going to make sure that they get in, and everyone that they're going to tell everyone they can to vote for them because they know they're going to vote their way. But the grassroots people, they really need to get in on this and vote for the grassroots candidate.
That's right. Well, Wade Kyle, you are on the ballot to be a member of the County Central Committee, 60th, right? 60th? 66.
66,
66th Assembly District.
correct?
Please vote for Wade Kyle as one of your 7, maximum 7. You can vote for just one. You can vote for Wade Kyle. I am going to be voting for other people because I don't live in the 66th Assembly District. But I really appreciate you, Wade, explaining to us the role of the County Central Committee and how that ties into the Democratic Convention. And we wish you the best of luck.
Awesome, very much. Thank you very much. You guys have a great afternoon. And I'm running with a slate of people, and the slate of people are people who have been elected in this area. They care about our area. You could always reach out to me if you want to know more about the slate. And it really is a work in progress and learning on
Reach out to
important.
you. Thank you for sticking around. If you like the LA Progressive content and the discussions we have here, please consider clicking the subscribe button below and also give us a thumbs up. That helps to grow our audience by feeding the algorithm, which helps to get this content in front of more eyes. Thanks for stopping by. We really appreciate your support.